I did a video a while back, maybe about close to a year ago, thereabouts, that St. Kitts, um, had lowered their debt down about 60% prior to the COVID-19 virus, and then they went into debt again somewhat because of there were a lot of checks written out, and they cut back on taxes and stuff like that. And a lot of countries increased their taxes during that period of time, but St. Kitts did the opposite. They actually lowered their unincorporated business tax from 4% to 2%. And so they did the opposite of most countries, but they're in the process right now. They're being pressured by the IMF to try to come out with a progressive income tax. Of course, this has been going on for years. St. Kitts neither party wants an income tax. So you might see this come out in the news. This came out, by the way, in Loop, online newspaper. You can pull it up, L-O-O-P. But this pressure has been going on in St. Kitts for years, and they gave St. Kitts a choice when they got that bailout many, many years ago, to either come out with a VAT or to come out with an income tax. Neither party wanted to have an income tax. So they came out with a VAT that was 17%, and then what happened was that 17% was on everything originally, but then they took it off drugs and food because everybody went nuts. That's the difference when you tax everybody the same thing. It's different when you tax the top 1%, but when you tax everybody the same thing, there's an uproar. So they immediately took it off drugs and food, and that's the VAT. Now, St. Kitts absolutely does not want an income tax, okay? They don't want a capital gains tax. They don't want a state inheritance tax. And they're doing just fine. It's just this COVID-19 threw them, just like other countries too. The U.S. debt went through the roof too, okay? So what they're doing now is they're trying to pay that down. And they did reduce it down 60% just over a few years. The U.S. hasn't even lowered their debt at all. They can't even pay the interest on the debt. St. Kitts lowered theirs down 60%. But the IMF is still at it. These are high-tax bureaucrats that are trying to basically get every country in the world to go to socialism. But they went on, I'm just going to tell you about the article. The article came out and was talking about that the downside risk primarily stemmed from a global slowdown, particularly in the United States, global inflation and sustained commodity price volatility from lingering geopolitical uncertainty. The IMF was talking about adding that the growing dependence on volatile and uncertainty in the citizenship by investment revenue is a major source of vulnerability. Now, actually, St. Kitts' biggest industry is not really citizenship by investment. It's actually the tourism industry, although citizenship by investment, I think, is like number 2. And it is big, but the tourism industry is real big in St. Kitts. But they went on to say that the prospects for an acceleration of the transition to renewable energy and increased investment and resilience by the broader public sector could represent a material upside risk. Now, St. Kitts has, if you come to St. Kitts, you'll notice there's all kinds of these solar panels going towards Frigate Bay. And so they're trying to get away from using a lot of electricity type from gas and oil and things like this, and they're trying to use things like solar that a lot more efficient, and they're getting there. So they're trying to get the electricity rates down, but they're not going to come out with an income tax. If you see this, it's just pressure that they're trying to put on St. Kitts. But the IMF said that the authorities have reiterated their intention to undertake structural fiscal policy changes to reduce the dependency on citizenship by investment revenues over the medium term. Also, folks, if you want to legally get around your high income taxes or how to get a second passport, as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, in its assessment of the situation in the Twin Island Federation, the IMF Executive Board noted that the strong economic rebound last year was moderated by tighter global financial conditions and higher fuel and food prices. Now, the board said that while proactive policies facilitated by accumulated buffers helped keep inflation under control, the fiscal measures have weighed on public finances. Now, strong citizenship by investment flows cushion the impact of higher expenditures on public debt, but also increase reliance on these revenues. Now, looking ahead, as risks are titled to the downside of in the short run, directors encourage the authorities to pursue prudent fiscal policies and ensure financial stability and implement ambitious structural reforms to boost sustainable and inclusive growth. Now, the IMF board, and this is the part here you need to pay attention to here, the IMF board executive board there agreed that the fiscal stance should be tightened to entrench debt sustainability and noted the importance of the planned phasing out of electricity price subsidies and other crisis-era support measures. Now, containing current expenditures, notably the wage bill, will help create space for sustainable development and investment. Investors call for reducing dependence on citizenship by investment revenue, which would require an overhaul of the taxation framework, including reducing tax expenditures, streamlining the VAT, reforming property taxes, and introducing a progressive personal income tax. Now, the IMF Executive Board also emphasized the need for structural policies to strengthen competitiveness, labor market development, and diversification. The directors have also recommended higher resilient infrastructure spending and an optimal insurance framework against natural disaster risk, and endorsed the authority strategy to transition towards renewable energy. Now, they're already doing that. The key is you don't have to worry about it. They're not going to come out with an income tax. They pressured St. Kitts many, many years ago. I think it was like 15 years ago to do this. They came out with the VAT instead, and they've reduced the taxes dramatically, the debt dramatically, about 60%. They did have a hiccup with this coronavirus when everybody stopped working and tax revenue didn't come in. Debt went back up again. But they'll get, I think eventually they'll literally get this down to zero. The U.S. is not even paying off the interest on their debt. So anyway, you don't have to worry about this, but I wanted to bring this out to you. If you got any questions or comments, put it below, and I would like to hear from you if you got any questions you want to send us there. And go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. And again, we got about 900 videos. If you want more information on this, hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Take care.